So today I'm going to share a video with you about the importance of having new construction inspected, and we'll have several things to show you today. There's going to be a lot more items, but we're just going to show you what we consider some of the more important items that were worth taking this video for. So in this particular property, it's using a zip system, and the zip boards are all actually installed pretty good, but what we need is to make sure that there's no mortar touching the zip system. So you're supposed to have anywhere between a ½ inch to 1 inch gap, and making sure mortar doesn't get or touch the zip system so it doesn't prematurely fail. Also, we have what's called veneer ties in place. When we have a window, we should have at least a veneer tie every 12 inches, and you can see where we don't have enough veneer ties tied in. They're also called brick ties for some people. So when they get these veneer ties should be turned and set into the mortar bed. I'll show you here in a minute where they have a whole wall. You can tell that they didn't tie in. Also, we should have weep holes along the base of it. I know we're under a patio, but even under a patio, you're supposed to have weep holes along the base and over the steel window frame. So let me show you the next item. What I want to do is kind of take you down to this this area over here and show you what's going on with this particular. So veneer ties are supposed to be installed every 3 feet by 3 feet basically, and then around wall openings about every 12 inches. The veneer tie, when they're installing the stone, is actually supposed to turn and get embedded into the mortar of the stone. That keeps the stone from rotating out and falling off. We can see right here the veneer ties are not even being embedded into the stone. That should have turned and went into this mortar line right here. So found this in several locations on the front and the back side of the house. So we're on the roof area, and we're still going to be talking about the installation of stone around the house. On this particular area, from the architectural designs and from the way they had the step flashing set away from the wall, we know that they're going to put some type of stone or some type of veneer cladding in this area that's going to leave a gap on the back side. So when we see that, we want to make sure that there's a proper drain plane. If you look down in this area right here, you can actually see the decking of the roof. So if they go to apply stone right here and they don't put a proper trough in or flashing details in, what'll happen is moisture will get through the grout in the mortar of the stone and eventually run right into the house. Also, when we put heavy items like brick or stone above the roof line, we have to do some extra work to the framing on the inside. So I'm about to take you inside. There's supposed to be a tripled up 2x6 in this area that's pressure treated, and at this point in time, they only have one 2x6. It is a correctable item, but it's something that we want to call out, because if we don't get it repaired, it'll eventually sag and the stone will start getting gaps in it and the mortar will start falling out. Now we're on the inside of the house from the location that we were on, directly on the opposite side, and you can see right here where there is a single 2x6 right there. And it's supposed to have 3 2x6 setting side by side to help support the weight of the stone. Here's another item that we would call out for our clients as well. So when they do the electrical in the home and they bring the electrical through the top plate all through one hole or maybe through a couple of holes, and then they bundle them up and take them all through one hole or maybe 2 separate holes, what they have to do is within 12 inches of the top, they should have a 2x6 there and separate all the wires. And within 12 inches of the top of the panel box, there would be another 2x6 there, and they would separate the wires. If you look up on the top right-hand side of the video, you'll be able to see an example of proper installation. Significant find for this particular inspection. So these are floor joists holding the support from upstairs. These are LVL beams. Basically, when we attach our floor joists to the LVL beams, we put joist hangers in to help support them to make sure that they don't slide out of place and they have proper strength. Well, since some Strong Tie is the maker of this particular floor joist, or this particular joist hanger, and basically they have installation standards. They have a certain type of nail, a certain type of certain length to be used on this to make sure that they have plenty of strength to hold the floor joist in place. Basically, Simpson Strong Tie says for every hole there should be a fastener. You can see here there's supposed to be 17 fasteners or 17 nails installed just on this side, and you can see that there's only 3 installed. Same thing on the opposite side. This is pretty significant because they have a shear factor on them, and that's the reason why they want that many fasteners to help hold everything in place. This is literally every floor joist and every ceiling joist throughout the entire home. Here's another significant find. When these fireboxes are installed, they have clearance requirements from combustible material and also draft blocking and fire blocking up the chimneys to be able to keep fires from moving from one part of the structure to the other. The manufacturer for this one says there should be 1 inch of clearance away from that 2x4, and you can see that there's not. If you look up the chimney, we can see there is a fire block, but it's not doing any good. We can look all the way through the roof and see that we're missing 3 fire blocks in this particular chimney. The installation of fire blocking throughout the house is super important. The reason why we have fire blocking or draft blocking in certain locations, it helps to slow down a fire that may occur within the structure. It gives the fire department more time to get here and put out the fire and cause less damage to the home. So on this particular wall cavity right here, since we have a stairway, we should fire block each one of these locations. There should be a 2x4 installed across each one of these openings right here to help to block the fire from rolling from the wall cavity or from the closet and through the wall cavity. Last but not least, with this particular home, there's many other defects here, but these are the ones we felt that, deserved a video to show others the importance of having an inspection performed. When you have engineered floor joists, you can see that they have a gusset plate at each intersection and they're angled a certain way, and what that does is give strength to the floor joist and strength to the structure. You can see where they came in with plumbing right here and they cut out a section of the floor joist. This is not something that is allowed without an engineered approval. Now that you've seen several defects with this particular home, you realize the importance of having a professional home inspector come in and take a look at the structure before they hang the drywall. That way they can look at all the electrical components, all the plumbing components, and the structural components to make sure everything's in good order before they hang the drywall and cover it all up. So for your next professional home inspection, you can call on A-Action Realty Inspection Services.